What's up, everyone? It's Kadi with MoneyVest. So we've got a big unemployment week coming up. So not only do we have the ADP non-farm payrolls, we've got the JOLTS numbers and the unemployment numbers also coming out in the upcoming week. And we've also got a lot of earnings that I think are going to be super interesting from companies like NEO. We've got Chewy, we've got GameStop, we got Broadcom, Lululemon, Dollar General, MongoDB, C3 AI, to name a few. We're going to break down exactly everything to look out for going into next week, and of course run through some of the technical analysis in this video as well. As always, if you enjoyed this video, find it helpful, make sure that you drop a like. The first week of the month is the best time to join our MoneyVest community, so link's going to be down below for our Patreon, for our Discord, and again, we'd love to have you on board. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, subscribe to the channel. That would really help us grow and of course get this video out to more and more people. So links are going to be down below and we'd love to have you on board. So this right here is going to be the earnings calendar. So Monday we don't really have a lot of companies, but Tuesday we got companies like NEO, which I will be doing a video on prior to the earnings. We've also got companies like MongoDB, a huge database company. Sentinel-1 is reporting after the bell. And we've also got Asana reporting after the bell on Tuesday. And Stitch Fix is also reporting on the very same day. Wednesday, before the market opens, we've got Lovesac. And that's the only company that I would be somewhat interested in. And after the bell, we got C3 AI, we got GameStop, we got Chewy, we got Viva. Viva Systems is actually a very, very strong company. I've analyzed this in the past. A high quality business that you definitely want to be paying attention to. And ChargePoint is also reporting on Wednesday after the bell. And then of course on Thursday, we've got pre-bell Dollar General. And again, another very big retailer. Dollar General has been under a lot of struggle here over the last several months. And of course, we got Broadcom, a very strong company, ticker symbol AVGO after the bell on Thursday. Lululemon, one of the highest quality consumer brands out there. DocuSign, a very, very popular sort of e-signature platform and database and cloud company. And that is pretty much going to be it. And that wraps up the earnings calendar for next week. In terms of the economic calendar, we do have the JOLTS numbers coming out on Tuesday, December 5th. And that is going to be the expectations of 9.55 million, the previous number. And the forecast is right now not given, but of course we want this number to be lower. We'd want this number to be as low as possible so that we know that the labor market is now starting to really loosen up a little bit and there's better balance between both the demand and supply of labor. And if there's lower JOLTS numbers, meaning that there's less job openings in the US and the balance, in other words, the demand and supply of jobs and labor is coming into better equilibrium, better balance in the United States. So that is also something to keep in mind for next week. And of course, we got the ADP non-farm payrolls. 113,000 was the previous number. And we got import-export prices, crude oil inventory, initial jobless claims come out every Thursday, of course. And we've also got the Atlanta Fed GDP now forecast for the fourth quarter. As we know, third quarter annualized number was a little bit over 4, close to 5%. So very, very strong growth in terms of the economic growth here in the US. And the Fed's balance sheet also comes out every Thursday after the bell at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And the consensus right now is going to be a little bit under $7.8 trillion as well. This right here is going to be the unemployment numbers. So unemployment rate and reports. So in other words, non-farm payrolls. We've got Michigan's one-year inflation expectations. That's going to be coming out. Very, very important because expectations are really what drives the overall inflation. Because if people expect prices to be higher, then of course, there's a possibility that they are going to be higher because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because our expectations and everything else changes with what we expect, right? So if people expect prices to be higher, of course, they're going to buy everything now. And as a result, prices are going to be higher. But if people expect prices to be lower in a few months, then of course, people are going to forego buying right now. And as a result, demand would go away and prices will eventually come right back down. So really, inflation expectations play a big role in overall inflation, and both 1-year and 5-year expectations are going to come out. Consumer expectations and consumer sentiment is also going to be released. And of course, the first Friday of the month in December, we've got the unemployment rate, which again, the expectations of 3.9%. We'll see if you actually do creep up above 4.2, 4.5%. So that obviously could be quite interesting for the markets as well. Now, going over to the technicals. So this right here is going to be the markets, and S&P 500, as we already know, has been on a very, very strong momentum higher. The month of November was incredibly strong for the market. So, we did see a little bit of a rally of close to over 8.9, almost 9%. This month so far, we are up over 0.5% as well. So we'll continue to monitor where we are from a technical perspective. December, obviously from a seasonality perspective, is supposed to be very green. There is over a 60-70% probability that the markets are going to be higher and green. But of course, we'll find out in the next few weeks whether that is the case. But technically speaking, as we have already talked about, we've seen 5 consecutive weeks of green in the market. And as a result, we continue to see a lot of momentum, and the risk reward trade-off is getting somewhat unfavorable or unattractive in the market. Although I would argue that on the weekly chart, it seems like the move is only getting started with the MACD crossing over that signal line. But of course, on the daily time frame, and of course some of the more individual stocks, they're now starting to round out a little bit, considering how elevated we are with the technicals and of course the overbought conditions that we are in. So going into next week, the only level that I'm really paying attention to for the NASDAQ is 14,400. So this right here is going to be that level to watch for the NASDAQ. And of course, support level is going to stay put right over here under $14,000. We got a little bit of a gap to fill for this as well. And S&P 500, we got a resistance up to as much as 4,600. We got up to as much as 4,599 on Fridays. We closed in 1 point less than that 4,600 resistance. So that's going to be the level to watch. Support level is going to stay put at 4,500 all the way down to 44, 43.75. So those right there are going to be some levels to also watch for the S&P 500. So that's where we are. Of course, overbought levels for the market right now. So RSI, MACD, very, very overbought at the moment. So that is something to keep in mind for going into next week. And of course, a lot of individual stocks are also moving up, with majority of stocks trading above their 20-day, 50-day, 100-day simple moving averages at the moment. If I go over to the Magnificent 7 index, the index that we have created, we have started to see a bit of a pullback, right? So a lot of folks are saying that, look, we are not seeing a pullback. What's going on? Well, if you take a look at specifically to technology, right, this past week, this was down 1.39%, right? So that is something that we got rejected at the all-time high at 1952, and this past week was actually red for Magnificent 7. So there was a rotation out of Mag 7 over to other stocks, because if you take a look at the Dow Jones, look at the week. Look at this week, up over 2.5% when Magnificent stocks are down. That simply means the money rotated out of tech over to other parts of the market. And there was this broad-based rally that took place. Of course, technology was kind of left behind, specifically comm services that didn't quite rally along with it. But the Dow Jones obviously having a very strong week, up over 2.4% here in the past 1 week. So, of course, overbought 5 consecutive weeks in green here. And if you take a look at the Dow Jones on a daily basis, the RSI is well over 80, and the MACD also has been rallying quite aggressively. So going into next week, and especially the next couple of weeks here, there's two different things. Number one, technicals are at an extreme level, but seasonality also does suggest that there's maybe more momentum upside, considering how strong December has been. So obviously nobody can time the market, nobody can predict the market, but my expectation right now is that the risk reward is not that great. I will be looking at selling calls in the next couple of weeks. If the markets continue to push higher, the IV is going to be aggressively high, and of course we're going to see a lot of potential premiums for the calls that I'm planning to sell on a lot of the stocks that I own. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like. Nothing really changes, but of course we've got a big unemployment week, because that's really what's going to dictate whether the Federal Reserve is going to do that final rate hike that they have penciled in their SEP or not, or are we going to just remain paused at where we are? And of course, 2024, the market's pricing in 5 rate cuts going into next year. So hope y'all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining. Of course, getting access to all the MoneyVest members benefits, early access to the platform in February of 24, Discord access, Discord channels, trade ideas, trade alerts, everything's going to be included, as well as the access to our spreadsheets, our intrinsic values, and of course, members-only private videos as well. Link's going to be down below. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.